Come in, please.
Hi, Miss Sandy. My name is Ashley. How are you today?
I'm okay.
Good. Well, I'm your occupational therapist assistant. Do you know what occupational therapy is?
No, I don't.
No? Okay. Well, occupational therapy helps rehabilitate individuals to be able to function throughout their day by doing activities that they need to do, such as bathing, toileting, eating, folding laundry, dressing, and then also activities that you more enjoy, such as in your leisure time, we can help you get back to activities such as gardening, writing, walking your dog, and the list really just goes on. But I saw on your chart that you would really like to get back to holding your grandchildren.
Oh, yes.
Yeah? How many grandchildren do you have?
I have two. I have a boy and a girl, an 11-month-old and a 3-year-old.
Aw, how adorable. Well, hopefully we can get you back to holding your grandchildren as soon as possible.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am aware that you had a stroke. And, well, today we're going to work on passive range of motion, which will help keep your muscles stretched in order to pick up and hold your grandchildren. So, by chance, do you know what consists of passive range of motion?
No, I don't.
No? Well, passive range of motion is a form of exercise that consists of moving the joint through the range of motion to aid in increasing the range of motion while decreasing any pain, stiffness, swelling, and this will also help demonstrate your limitations and advantages in order to come up with a plan for you to succeed your goals. So, and lucky for you, today I get to do all the work for you. So you get to just hang out and relax.
Great.
So we are going to stretch your shoulder, elbow, wrist, and hand to help increase your upper mobility so you can get back to holding your grandchildren as soon as possible. So, also, Miss Sandy, I wanted to let you know if you have any discomfort or any questions throughout the time, just please let me know because we don't want you to have any pain. A little pain is okay, but we don't want you to be in that ache and pain because that can actually do more harm than good. And I set up some visual aids here for you, and these are references that you can just look at while we're doing the exercises so you know what we're about to do. And you can actually take these resources home with you today so you and your family can use them at home just in case if you don't have access to the video for some reason, and maybe this will help jog your memory since you're seeing it and doing it.
Yes, that'll be very helpful.
All right. So, are you ready? No, you're fine. Are you ready to get started?
I am.
Okay. So we're going to try and clear the area as much as possible. And, great. You're staying in a nice posture. We're going to want to sit up nice and tall. So, we also, when doing this, you want to use soft hands because Miss Sandy did have a stroke, so her muscles and everything are forming, gaining that strength to be mobile again. And we don't want to push her back. We want to keep you going forward so you can perform all those activities. So we're going to start with shoulder extension and shoulder flexion, okay?
Okay.
So we want to support the shoulder joint, and we're going to support right underneath the shoulder joint by holding under her triceps, and we're going to hold at her wrist joint and her towards her lower forearm. So shoulder extension and flexion. We're going to go up for shoulder flexion and down for shoulder extension. And you can see there is some discomfort there. So we're not going to go as far, and we're that shoulder flexion. And then we'll go to right here, shoulder extension. So shoulder flexion and shoulder extension. And then we're going to want to rest that arm real quick. Okay. And then our next exercise is going to be shoulder abduction and shoulder adduction. So are you ready for that?
I am.
Okay, so we're going to want to get back into that same supporting hand position. And shoulder abduction and shoulder adduction, you're going to go up for abduction and down for shoulder adduction. And adduction is down to your body. And we want to do this nice and slowly so we don't pull anything in Miss Sandy's arms and dislocate that joint or anything. And we're going to do that one more time. Great job. And our next motion is going to be shoulder internal rotation and shoulder external rotation. And when doing your shoulder abduction, adduction, and external rotation and internal rotation, we're also going to want to be wanting to stand a little bit behind you so you can get that full range of motion, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to get back in that same supporting position, and we're going to go up towards a 90-degree angle, and that is now going down to a shoulder internal rotation. Feel a little resistance, so we're only going to go to about there, and then shoulder external rotation. Shoulder internal rotation, shoulder external rotation. How's everything feeling?
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. All right. And then we're going to extend out, and this is going to be our shoulder horizontal abduction and adduction. So we're going to go across the shoulder horizontal adduction and across back to shoulder horizontal abduction. We're going to go inwards and out. And one more time. And remember to always pay attention to her resistance. And that's why I'm not going all the way over her chest because there was slight resistance. So Miss Sandy, check that out. We did all your shoulder exercises.
That's great.
So if we go to our next page, I have it where it's just your elbow exercise here. And that is going to be your elbow flexion and elbow extension. So we're going to want to support a little bit lower down that tricep so it's closer towards the elbow joint. And we're going to want to support that lower forearm again at that wrist joint as well. You can support that forearm and wrap your fingers around the wrist joint to support. So wrist, elbow flexion and extension. We're going to go out for extension, bring it in for flexion. So elbow extension, elbow flexion, extension, and then we're flexing the muscles. Good job. And that wraps up our shoulder and elbow exercises. So now we're going to want to move to our wrist and hand exercises, okay? All right. So we are going, stand up. So we're going to support the wrist, and we're going to hold, support the palm and phalanges, which are your fingers. And for wrist extension, we're going to want to make sure those fingers are nice and laid out, as you can see. And we're going to want to support that wrist joint and, bend the wrist backwards for extension. And then we're going to want to bend the wrist downward for flexion. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Alright, let me set you there. I see that the video camera has turned off for a second, so had to turn that back on for you so your family can see what needs to be done.
Okay.
Okay, and so now we're going to go back into the wrist motions of exercises, excuse me. So we just did wrist flexion and wrist extension. And so now we're going to want to do ulnar deviation and radial deviation. So ulnar deviation is moving the hand sideways. So the thumb is going towards your little finger. So we're going to go ulnar deviation and radial deviation. Ulnar is towards the thumb, towards the little finger, and then vice versa. Good job. And now we're going to set your rest your hand there because I want to show you onto our next page that is full of finger and thumb exercises for you. So we've done our shoulder, our shoulder, elbow, and wrist, and now our fingers. So we're going to get back to supporting her wrist joint and her fingers. So we're going to want to cuff our fingers over her fingers. So let me set your hand down real quick. So it's going to be like this. And we're going to support. And so we're going to curl her knuckles in for finger flexion. So it's like making a fist. And then we're going to curl out to finger extension. So finger flexion, finger extension. Nice job. And then the MCP flexion is when you're keeping the fingers extended, so you're not bending the knuckles, but we are, bending them down at the joint, at the MCP joint. So we're going to bend them downwards. Good job. And then we don't want to forget about the thumb, so we're still going to support our fingers and palm as well as our wrist joint. And our CMC thumb flexion is bending the thumb at the CMC downward, So we're going to go down, up, down, up. And then CMC thumb extension is extended to the side. So we're going to go out to the side. Nice job.
Thank you.
And then CMC thumb adduction, as you can see in the picture, is just putting the finger up your thumb to your hand. And then also for a CMC thumb abduction, we are moving the thumb upward away from your index finger, perpendicular to the palm. You should always make sure to support. So we're going to extend your thumb out perpendicularly. There you go. And then CMC thumb opposition is moving the thumb toward the little finger, so across the palm, towards the little finger. Good job. And those consist of your exercises. How do you feel today, Miss Sandy?
A little tired, but I'm okay.
Yeah? Okay. Well, you think you and your family can do these passive range of motions at home?
Oh, most definitely with the help of your visual aids and video.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear. And I also wanted to mention, for those who are watching, remember to always be aware of her facial expressions and any resistance you might feel, because as you did see that Miss Sandy does have some resistance, and we just don't want to make anything worse, along with making sure you use soft hands when supporting the joint. And also be aware of your own biomechanics, because we don't want you to get hurt while helping Miss Sandy. So here are your resources for references for you and your family. And on the front of the page, my contact information is here, so if you have any questions or concerns, you and your family can contact me. And yeah, so do you have any other questions today?
No, I don't. I just want to practice at home and be able to hold those grandchildren again.
Awesome. Well, we are going to try our best to get you there. So I guess I will see you another day then.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Have a great day, Miss Sandy.
You too.